Dear children, welcome to this channel. In my previous video, we saw the examples under properties of inverse trigonometric function. Let us continue the examples in this video also. Example 4.20. Evaluate sin inverse of 3 by 5 plus secant inverse of 5 by 4. Okay. See here 3 by 5, 5 by 4 doesn't represent the sine value or secant value of the specific angle. Okay. So in this case what you have to do, you have to take you have to use the triangle and you have to take it as theta, and you have to use a right angle triangle and you have to evaluate it, right. So instead of taking sine inverse of 3 by 5 as theta, let us take secant inverse of 5 by 4. Okay. So in this case, first let us take secant inverse of 5 by 4 as theta. So let us take secant inverse of 5 by 4 is equal to theta, which implies secant theta is equal to 5 by 4, or cos theta, its reciprocal, is equal to 4 by 5. So you have to construct a right triangle where theta is the acute angle and cos theta is 4 by 5 means adjacent by hypotenuse, right. And therefore what would be sine? So what is the opposite side? So opposite side will be root of 5 squared minus 4 squared, or that is 25 minus 16, which is equal to root 9, that is 3. So you know that also it is a Pythagorean triple. 3, 4, 5 is a Pythagorean triple. So instead of using this, immediately you can write the opposite side would be 3. If you know that 3, 4, 5 is a Pythagorean triple. So what does this implies? Sin theta is equal to 3 by 5. Okay. And hence theta is equal to sine inverse of 3 by 5, right. Therefore the given expression sine inverse of 3 by 5 plus secant inverse of 5 by 4 is equal to sine inverse of 3 by 5 plus sine inverse of 3 by 5. Okay. So as a secant inverse of 5 by 4 is sine inverse of 3 by 5, no need to no need to find out sine inverse of 3 by 5 again. Okay. Because if you take the sum, it will be 2 times sine inverse of 3 by 5. Okay. So now it reminds the formula 2 times sine inverse of x is equal to sine inverse of 2x into root of 1 minus x squared, where modulus of x is less than or equal to 1 by root 2. This is property 8. Okay. So by property 8, one of the identities in the property 8, we have a formula for 2 sine inverse of x. So what is the formula for 2 sine inverse of x? 2 sine inverse of x is equal to sine of 2x into root of 1 minus x squared, where this modulus of x is less than or equal to 1 by root 2. Okay. So approximately 1 by root 2, the value of 1 by root 2 is 0.7072. You know that the value of root 2 is 1.14, on dividing it will be 0.7 something. So and 3 by 5, it is a 3 by 5, the value of 3 by 5 is some 0.6, so which is less than that. So we can apply this formula 2 sine inverse of x for this one. Okay. So 2 sine inverse of 3 by 5 is equal to sine of 2 into 3 by 5 into root of 1 minus x square, that is 9 divided by 25. Okay. Where 3 by 5 is less than 1 by root 2. Okay. So as it is less than 1 by root 2, so we can apply this, right. Then let us simplify this. So what would be the value of this one? Sine of 6 by 5 into 25 minus 9 is 16, 16 by 25. So after taking root, it will be 4 by 5. Now that is sine of 24 divided by 25, right. Now let us replace here. Okay. So the given expression sine inverse of 3 by 5 plus secant inverse of 5 by 4 is equal to sine of 2 sine inverse of 3 by 5, and we have found the value as Sine inverse here, sine inverse of 24 by 25. Therefore, sine inverse of 24 by 25, okay, which is equal to 24 by 25, as 24 by 25 belongs to the, as 24 by 25 belongs to the closed interval minus 1 comma 1, okay. So, sine inverse of theta is equal to theta only if theta belongs to this closed interval minus 1 comma 1. So, here 24 by 25 clearly belongs to this closed interval minus 1 comma 1, because it is a proper fraction, always its value will be less than 1. So, it belongs to this interval, and hence sine inverse of 24 by 25 is equal to 24 by 25. Next, example 4.21. Prove that in first subdivision is tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus tan inverse of 1 by 3 equal to pi by 4, and second subdivision is 2 tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus tan inverse of 1 by 7 is equal to tan inverse of 31 by 70. We are going to use the property to prove the problem, to find out, to show the left hand side and right hand side are equal, okay. So, let us take the first one. So, it is of the form tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y. The left hand side is of the form tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y. So, let us apply that identity. So, what is that identity? Tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y is equal to tan inverse of x plus y divided by 1 minus xy, where xy, the product xy is less than 1, okay. So, here 1 by 2 into 1 by 3 is 1 by 6, and it is a proper fraction, and it will be clearly less than 1. So, we can apply the identity for this one, okay. So, tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus tan inverse of 1 by 3 is equal to tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 into 1 by 3, where this 1 by 2 into 1 by 3, that is 1 by 6, is less than 1. So, we can apply this identity. Now, what is tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 means 3 plus 2, that is, it is 5 by 6, and here 1 minus 1 by 6. So, tan inverse of 5 by 6 divided by 5 by 6, okay. So, that is nothing but tan inverse of 1. So, what is tan inverse of 1? For what angle it will be, tan value will be 1, pi by 4, and it clearly belongs to the first interval. So, why the principal value will be the positive value, that is tan inverse of 1 is equal to pi by 4, and hence we have proved that tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus tan inverse of 1 by 3 is equal to pi by 4. So, we have proved the required result, okay. Then second subdivision is 2 tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus tan inverse of 1 by 7 is equal to tan inverse of 31 by 17, okay. So, here we come across one term, that is 2 tan inverse of x, like 2 tan inverse of 1 by 2, it represents 2 tan inverse of x, and we have one formula for 2 tan inverse of x by property number 7. So, what is it? By property number 7, we have a formula for 2 tan inverse of x as 2 tan inverse of x is equal to tan inverse of 2x divided by 1 minus x squared, where x lies between minus 1 and plus 1, okay. So, this is by property number 7. By property 7, we have a formula for 2 tan inverse of x. Now, we are going to apply this one for 2 tan inverse of 1 by 2. So, 2 tan inverse of 1 by 2, because 1 by 2 lies between minus 1 to 1, so we can apply it. So, 2 tan inverse of 1 by 2 is equal to tan inverse of 2 into 1 by 2 divided by 1 minus 1 by 4. So, that is tan inverse of 1 divided by 3 by 4, which is equal to tan inverse of 4 by 3, right. Therefore, the given expression 2 tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus tan inverse of 1 by 7 now takes the form tan inverse of 4 by 3 plus tan inverse of 1 by 7. Again, it is in the form tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y, where the product of x and y 4 by 21 is less than 1, as it is a proper fraction, okay. So, again we can apply the formula tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y here. So, what would be the right hand side for this, tan inverse of x plus y, that is 4 by 3 plus 1 by 7 divided by 1 minus 4 by 3 into 1 by 7, where this 4 by 3 into 1 by 7, that is 4 by 21, is less than 1. Now that is tan inverse of, so taking LCM as 21 and then 7 4s 28 and then here it is 31, right, and divided by, and then 1 minus 4 by 21. Okay, so tan inverse of 31 by 21 divided by 21 minus 4 is 17 by 21. Again this 21 and 21 get cancelled, so what would be the answer? Tan inverse of 31 by 17. So that is our right hand side. Okay, so that is the right hand side. So we have proved this result, right? Next example 4.22. If cos inverse of x plus cos inverse of y plus cos inverse of z is equal to pi, where x, y and z lies between 0 to 1, show that x squared plus y squared plus z squared plus 2xyz is equal to 1. Okay. So, with the help of this condition, you are going to use this, you are going to show this equation is true, right. Now, here 3 terms are given. Let us take the first and second one as some theta, alpha and beta, right. So, let us take cos inverse of x to be some alpha and cos inverse of y to be some beta, which implies cos alpha is equal to x and cos beta is equal to y. Okay. Therefore, substituting the values of cos inverse of x and cos inverse of y in the given condition, cos inverse of x plus cos inverse of y plus cos inverse of z is equal to pi. In this given condition, let us replace cos inverse of x and cos inverse of y by our assumption alpha and beta. So, we have alpha plus beta plus cos inverse of z is equal to pi, which in turn implies alpha plus beta is equal to pi minus of cos inverse of z. Okay. Now, if find out cos of alpha plus beta, what would be cos of alpha plus beta? This will be equal to cos alpha cos beta then minus sin alpha into sin beta. Okay. But as by taking cos inverse of x as alpha, we found that cos alpha is equal to x, and similarly cos inverse of y is equal to beta implies cos beta is equal to y. Therefore, cos alpha cos beta is nothing but xy. And then what would be sin alpha and sin beta? As x comma y comma z lies between 0 to 1 and x is equal to cos alpha, and cos alpha, the maximum value of cos alpha is 1 and the minimum value is 0. So, and it lies between the first quadrant, and hence the angle alpha and beta lies in the first quadrant, and therefore it is positive, and hence we can write sin alpha is equal to root of 1 minus cos squared alpha, that is root of 1 minus x squared, and sin beta is equal to root of 1 minus cos squared beta, that is equal to root of 1 minus y square, because as alpha and beta lies in the first quadrant, which is positive, right. Therefore, we can replace sin alpha and sin beta by 1 minus x square into root of 1 minus y square. Therefore, cos of, the required condition is, you have to now substitute alpha plus beta as pi minus cos inverse of z here. Okay. So, what happened? Cos of pi minus cos inverse of z is equal to xy minus root of 1 minus x squared into root of 1 minus y squared. Okay. Now, what is cos of pi minus cos inverse of z? See, pi is lie here. Pi minus means it lies in the second quadrant, in which cos is negative. So, this will be equal to minus cos of this cos inverse of z. Okay. Minus cos of cos inverse of z is equal to xy minus root of 1 minus x squared into root of 1 minus y squared. Now, moving this minus to opposite side, we have cos of cos inverse of z is equal to minus xy plus root of 1 minus x squared into root of 1 minus x squared. Now cos of cos inverse of z means here z lies between 0 to 1 and therefore cos of cos inverse of z is equal to z, because cos of cos inverse of x is equal to x only if x lies between minus 1 to 1. As z lies between 0 to 1, we have cos of cos inverse of z is equal to z, and this is equal to minus xy plus root of 1 minus x squared into root of 1 minus y squared. Okay. So, moving this xy to opposite side, we have z plus xy is equal to root of 1 minus x squared into root of 1 minus y squared. Let us square on both sides to get rid of this square root. So, squaring on both sides, we have z plus xy the whole squared is equal to 1 minus x squared into 1 minus y squared. Now expand this, so it would be z squared plus x squared y squared plus 2xyz is equal to 1 minus y squared minus x squared plus x squared y squared. Okay. So these two terms get cancelled. Then moving the negative terms to this side, we have x squared plus y squared plus z squared plus 2xyz is equal to 1. So this is the one we have to prove. Okay. So we have proved the result by taking the condition cos inverse of x plus cos inverse of y plus cos inverse of z is equal to pi. We have proved x squared plus y squared plus z squared plus 2xyz is equal to 1. Next example 4.23. If a1, a2, etc. an is an arithmetic progression with a common difference d, then you have to prove that tan inverse of d by 1 plus a1 a2 plus tan inverse of d by 1 plus a2 a3 etc. to tan inverse of d by 1 plus an minus 1 is equal to an minus a1 divided by 1 plus a1 an. Okay. See, you are going to remember the formula for in the arithmetic progression, right. So, let us take the first term here, tan inverse of d divided by 1 plus a1 a2 is equal to tan inverse of d is the common difference, means we can express d as a2 minus a1 a3 minus a2 etc. So, as the denominator involve a1 and a2, let us represent d as a2 minus a1 here, right, as it is a common difference. So, a2 minus a1 divided by 1 plus a1 a2. Now look at this, it is of the form tan inverse of x minus y by 1 plus xy. Okay. So it is nothing but tan inverse of a2 minus tan inverse of a1 by the property, right. So we are taking the right hand side, it is of the form right hand side, and we are writing the left hand side in this case, right. And similarly the next term tan inverse of d divided by 1 plus a2 a3 is equal to tan inverse of, in this case d can be expressed as a3 minus a2 as the denominator involves a2 and a3. So, a2 minus a1, a3 minus a2 all are equal to d in the case of an arithmetic progression. So, we are going to use the in the as required, right. Now again it is of the form tan inverse of x minus y by 1 plus xy, therefore it will be equal to tan inverse of a3 minus tan inverse of a2. Okay. So, in this way, if we proceed in this way, we have the last term tan inverse of d divided by 1 plus an into an minus 1 is equal to tan inverse of an minus tan inverse of an minus 1. Okay. Similarly, if we proceed, now you have to add all these things, right, to get the terms inside the bracket. So, adding, we have tan inverse of d divided by 1 plus a1 a2 plus tan inverse of d divided by 1 plus a2 a3 plus etc. tan inverse of d divided by 1 plus an into an minus 1. So, what happened on adding, tan inverse of a2 and here minus tan inverse of a2 will get cancelled. Similarly, in the next one you have minus tan inverse of a3, so this will get cancelled. So, at last you will have tan inverse of an and minus tan inverse of an. So, what would be the summation? You will get tan inverse of an minus tan inverse of a1. Okay. So, by adding what we have, we got the answer as the summation as tan inverse of an minus tan inverse of a1. Okay. Again applying the property, it will be equal to tan inverse of an minus a1 divided by 1 plus a1 into an. Okay. Now we got the summation as tan inverse of an minus a1 by 1 plus a1 an. Okay. Now let us substitute in here, let us substitute the value in the left hand side. So what is the given expression, what is the left hand side become? So tan inverse of d divided by 1 plus a1 a2 plus tan inverse of d divided by 1 plus a2 a3 plus etc. plus tan inverse of d divided by 1 plus an minus 1 is equal to tan of, the summation is equal to tan inverse of an minus a1 divided by 1 plus a1 an. Okay. So tan of tan inverse means this will be equal to an minus a1 divided by 1 plus a1 an, which is our right hand side. That is the thing we need. So we have to prove. So we have proved the left hand side and right hand side are equal. Okay. Next example is solve tan inverse of 1 minus x by 1 plus x is equal to half into tan inverse of x where x is positive. Okay. So all the previous problem we have proved some result, whether you have to show the right hand side and left hand side are equal, but here this is a problem. In this problem this is a problem, you have to find out the solution of x. Okay. So you are going to find the value of x which satisfies this given equation, right. Now tan inverse of 1 minus x by 1 plus x is equal to 1 by 2 into tan inverse of x is given. Okay. This is a given equation. So using this equation you are going to find the value of x. Now the left hand side tan inverse of 1 minus x by 1 plus x can be written as 1 minus x divided by 1 plus 1 into x. This x is written as 1 into x. Okay. So half into tan inverse of x. So why I am writing this x as 1 into x means it is of the form tan inverse of x minus y divided by 1 plus xy. Okay. So this would be by the property it can be written as tan inverse of 1 minus tan inverse of x, which is equal to 1 by 2 into tan inverse of x. Now let us move this tan inverse of x, group the tan inverse of x to grouping the tan inverse of x. We have tan inverse of 1 is equal to 1 by 2 tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of x will be 3 by 2 into tan inverse of x, right. Now what is tan inverse of 1? Tan inverse of 1 is nothing but pi by 4. So that is equal to 3 by 2 into tan inverse of x, or tan inverse of x is equal to pi divided by 6. On dividing this by 3 by 2 we have it is pi by 6. So tan inverse of x is pi by 6 and we need the value of x, which in turn implies x is equal to tan pi by 6. Now what is tan 30? Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. So x, the value of x is 1 by root 3. Okay. Next example 4.25 is solve sin inverse of x greater than cos inverse of x. So this inequality is given. Using this inequality we are going to find the value of x. Okay. So we are going to find the value of x which satisfies this inequality. Now you know that for both the sin inverse and the cos inverse, the domain must be the closed interval minus 1 comma 1. So for here for the sin inverse of x and the cos inverse of x to be defined, x must be belongs to the closed interval minus 1 comma 1. Okay. So x should belongs to minus 1 comma 1 for sin inverse of x and cos inverse of x to be defined, well defined. Okay. And then given that sin inverse of x is greater than cos inverse of x, let us add sin inverse of x on both sides. Okay. So in order to find the value of x, we are going to do a small adjustment, that is we are going to add sin inverse of x on both sides. So what happened to here, this will become 2 sin inverse of x is greater than sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x. You know that sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x will be equal to pi by 2 by the cofunction identity. Therefore, sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x is equal to pi by 2, and hence we have 2 sin inverse of x is greater than pi by 2. This implies that sin inverse of x is greater than pi by 4 or x is greater than sin pi by 4. Okay. Now, what is sin pi by 4? Sin 45 degree is 1 by root 2 or x is greater than 1 by root 2. But x should belongs to the closed interval minus 1 comma 1 for to be for the sin inverse of x and cos inverse of x to be well defined. Therefore, the maximum value of x should be 1 and here it is greater than 1 by root 2. So, this implies that x must belongs to the open interval 1 by root 2 to closed interval 1 because x is simply greater than 1 by root 2 not equal to. So, we have used the open interval and there here one the maximum value for x to be 1 and therefore, it is a closed interval. So, this would be the solution set for x. So, here we are not going to get x as a single value, we are getting a value in between 1 by root 2 to 1. So, it is a solution set.